Welcome to the Depth Dive. Today, we're diving headfirst into the dynamic world of service businesses.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those places where you, the customer, aren't just passively consuming something, but you're actually, an active part of the production line.
Right. You're in the mix.
Exactly. And we've armed ourselves with a really brilliant article from the Harvard Business Review. It's by Francis X. Frey, titled The 4 Things a Service Business Must Get Right.
A foundational piece, really.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Our mission today is to sort of cut through the noise. We want to discover the core principles that, separate the truly successful service companies from the ones that just seem to stumble.
Yeah, what makes them tick differently.
Right, and understand how they manage that unique, sometimes kind of chaotic challenge of having customers potentially wreak havoc on quality and costs.
That's a great way Frampy puts it.
It is. So by the end of this deep dive, you'll have a clear framework. We'll use examples like Walmart, Commerce Bank, even the Cleveland Clinic, to show exactly how these service stars seem to have cracked the code.
Yeah, some really insightful case studies there.
It's just fundamentally different from a product company, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
With services, the customer is often right there, front and center, integral to the creation of the service itself. And that involvement, for better or worse, can dramatically swing both the quality and the cost of what's being delivered.
It seems simple on the surface, but it creates just a world of complexity.
It really does.
And what becomes clear pretty quickly is that the traditional management playbooks, the ones designed maybe for manufacturing or selling products, they just aren't always sufficient here.
Right. They don't quite fit.
Think about it. A customer at a fast food counter who kind of pauses, they're indecisive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they effectively slow down the entire line for everyone behind them.
We've all been there.
Or consider an architect's client who just can't quite articulate their vision. It drags out the design phase, costs everyone time, costs money.
Yeah.
These aren't just minor inconveniences. These are customer actions directly impacting the business's operational efficiency. It's bottom line.
Okay, so if customers are such a, let's say, wild card in this whole equation, how do the champions, the real leaders in the service world, actually manage it?
Well, the article argues, and I think quite convincingly, that it comes down to aligning 4 critical elements.
4 pillars.
Exactly, 4 pillars. And if even one of them is sort of misaligned or wobbly, the whole structure can start to crumble.
Okay, let's dig into each one then. Where do we start?
First pillar, the service offering itself.
Right. Now, this might sound incredibly obvious, but the real genius here apparently isn't about trying to be amazing at everything. It might even be the opposite.
That's it, exactly. A really crucial question to ask is, how do your chosen customers, the ones you're targeting, truly define excellence for what you offer? Is it mostly about convenience? Is it friendliness? Maybe flexible choices? Or just, sheer unbeatable price?
Mm-hmm.
The profound insight here, and it's really counterintuitive for a lot of businesses, is that a winning strategy often demands a deliberate choice about what you simply won't do well.
Okay, wait. What you won't do well?
Yes. You actively choose to perform badly, or at least less well, at certain things so you can pour all your energy and resources into excelling at others. It's not an accident. It's a strategic, hard-coded trade-off.
Wow. Okay, give me an example.
Think Walmart. They explicitly prioritize low prices and a huge selection. That's their focus.
Right.
You won't find, high-end ambience or lots of personal sales help wandering the aisles.
Definitely not.
Because their customers prioritize what Walmart does well, the price, the selection.
Got it.
Or look at Commerce Bank. They decided to lean hard into pleasant face-to-face service and just sheer convenience.
The longer hours, right.
Exactly. Evening and weekend hours, those bright, high-ceilinged branches, even that fun coin-counting machine for kids.
Yeah, I remember those.
But they knowingly accepted that they'd underperform on other things, like maybe offering the top interest rates or having the widest range of financial products. It was a very conscious decision.
Okay, so that point about identifying customer operating segments, that's where the strategy really starts to click, Frenny.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about broad marketing messages, is it?
No, not at all.
It's about deeply understanding these distinct groups of customers who share a specific idea of what excellent service means to them.
Yeah.
And then meticulously designing your entire service operation to match their preferences specifically.
Precisely. Design, not just messaging.
But okay, delivering this kind of tailored excellence, it's not free, it costs money.
Right.
So how do these service leaders fund their advantages, often in ways that maybe aren't immediately obvious, beyond just slapping a price tag on it?
Yes, the funding mechanism. This is pillar number 2, and it's often where you see real ingenuity.
Okay.
For a company to truly outshine competitors in its chosen attributes, how it pays for that excellence has to be, cleverly designed.
So it's not always straightforward.
Definitely not. The article outlines 4 kind of brilliant approaches. One is charging the customer, but in a way that feels palatable.
Palatable, meaning?
Meaning not necessarily a direct fee for the niceties. Think about Starbucks.
Okay. Coffee's not cheap.
Right. They charge a premium for the coffee, and that premium subtly covers the cost of that inviting coffee house atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
Where you can linger for hours. There are no metered chairs.
Right. Good point.
Or go back to Commerce Bank. How did they fund those expensive extended hours? By offering a slightly lower interest rate on deposits. Customers found that much more acceptable than, say, being charged a direct fee for coming in on a Saturday.
Makes sense. What's another way to...
A second approach creates this beautiful kind of win-win between operational savings and value-added services.
Win-win. How so?
Progressive casualty insurance is the classic example here. They're famous for those immediate response vans, right?
Yeah, they come right to the accident scene.
Exactly. Customers love it. It's a huge convenience. You wouldn't necessarily be extra for it directly, but it actually pays for itself because it dramatically reduces fraud investigations and later legal fees. Getting there fast saves them money.
Wow. So it looks like great service, but it's operationally smart.
Totally shrewd. Progressive even does something else interesting. They'll sometimes offer quotes from other insurance providers alongside their own.
Really? Why would they do that?
It helps them avoid taking on unprofitable accounts. If their quote isn't the best fit for that customer's risk profile, they essentially guide them elsewhere, while still providing a valuable comparison service. It helps them focus on the customers they can serve profitably.
That's clever. Okay, what else?
Third form, spending money now to save much more later. An investment. An investment? Exactly. Intuit, QuickBooks, TurboTax, they famously offer free customer support.
Which is unusual in software.
Totally flies in the face of industry norms. Why do they do it? They don't just see those support calls as a cost center.
No.
They see calls from customers needing help as invaluable input for product development.
Feedback.
Direct feedback. It helps them make better, more intuitive software, which then, over time, actually lowers the number of support calls they get.
That's smart. Long-term thinking.
They even have a name for it. Their DIRST philosophy. D-I-R-S-T. Do it right the second time. Use today's problems to fix tomorrow's product.
I like that. Okay, one more funding mechanism.
Yep, the fourth one is having customers do the work themselves.
Self-service.
Self-service. But here's the crucial caveat. This only truly succeeds when customers genuinely prefer the self-service option, not when they just tolerate it because the alternative is worse.
Explain that difference.
Think about airline self-check-in kiosks. Initially, maybe people use them just to avoid those long counter lines.
Sure.
But now, many frequent flyers actually prefer them. Why? Because they offer useful tools like seat maps, easy upgrades, quick baggage checks.
Yeah.
They've actually simplified the transaction.
Right. They add value now.
Exactly. Now, contrast that with many self-service supermarket checkouts.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
They often fall flat. Why? Because customers are certainly asked to perform complicated tasks, like carefully weighing bags for fraud prevention, finding barcodes.
Things the employees used to do.
The things that even trained employees sometimes struggled with. That creates anxiety, frustration.
Unexpected item in the bagging area.
Exactly. Makes customers actively avoid them if they can.
That is such a clear distinction. It really highlights how critical it is for that self-service to genuinely simplify things for the customer, not just, offload work onto them.
Precisely. It'd have to be a better experience, or at least not a worse one.
Okay, and speaking of people involved, service businesses are inherently people-intensive. Employees are key.
Absolutely critical. Which brings us to the third pillar, the employee management system.
Right. Getting the workforce strategy right must have just an outsized impact.
It really does. The crucial question leaders need to answer here is, how do you ensure your employees are not only capable of delivering your service promise, but also genuinely motivated to do so consistently? And the article really emphasizes designing a system where the average employee can consistently thrive. You want to avoid needing constant individual heroism to make things work.
Make it easy for them to succeed.
Exactly. Let's go back to Commerce Bank again. Remember, they compete on things like extended hours and a friendly face.
Right, not complex financial advice.
Exactly. So they don't necessarily need a team of, straight A students who've mastered a vast, complex product catalog.
Right.
They hire primarily for attitude. Freer mentions they literally asked interviewers, does this person smile in a resting state?
Wow, really?
Yes. And then they train for the specific service skills they need. They even encourage their employees to actively scout for people providing great service in other industries, like a friendly waiter or helpful retail clerk, and recruit them.
Hire for attitude, train for skill, basically.
Pretty much, because attitude is harder to train.
That's a really fascinating trade-off, isn't it? You're essentially saying, okay, if you're going to prioritize hiring for that high attitude quotient, then you have to engineer your system so brilliantly that even an employee with perhaps, let's say, lower aptitude for really complex tasks can still reliably deliver excellent service within your defined scope.
You got it. The onus shifts significantly onto the design of the system, not just relying on finding superhuman employees.
Which are rare and expensive anyway.
Exactly.
Okay, so we have the offering, the funding, the employees. And just as employees are part of the equation, we need to circle back to the customers again.
We do. Pillar number 4, the customer management system.
Because, as we said at the start, they're not just receiving the service, they're actively part of its production.
Yep. So managing their behavior becomes absolutely crucial.
How do you manage customers, though?
Well, it's a truly interesting challenge because, unlike your employees, customers don't get job interviews or, detailed training manuals.
No kidding.
So your service design has to ingeniously accommodate that reality-limited customer training, varied motivation, lots of discretion.
Okay.
Crucially, if you are shifting tasks to customers, like in self-service, those tasks must be simpler than what your employees were doing previously.
Back to the airline kiosk versus the supermarket checkout.
The perfect illustration. Airline kiosks streamlined the keystrokes, made it faster for the customer. The supermarket version often burdened them with more complex, even anxiety-inducing tasks like that fraud prevention weighing step.
Right, makes total sense. So simplify if you shift work. What else?
Well, beyond simplifying tasks, remember customers have much more discretion than employees. They can choose how they behave. So the article highlights 2 primary categories of techniques to subtly influence customer behavior. First, there are instrumental techniques. The classic carrots and sticks. Think discounts for paying early or penalties for returning something late.
Okay, rewards and punishments.
Basically. Zipcar, the car sharing service, uses penalties for late car returns. It's not just about getting a bit of extra revenue.
No.
It's primarily to keep costs low and, more importantly, to ensure cars are actually available for the next user when they expect it. That availability is vital to their whole service promise.
Got it. What's the other category?
Second, you have normative techniques.
Normative, like social norms.
Exactly. Tapping into things like shame, blame, or maybe pride to motivate the behaviors you want. Think about those little signs in supermarket parking lots. Please return your shopping cart.
Ah, yeah. Guilt trip light.
Kind of. They're appealing to a sense of civic duty or maybe just avoiding mild social disapproval if someone sees you ditching your cart.
Okay. Instrumental and normative ways to guide customers.
And the key thing, the absolute power here, is making sure that however you manage customers is completely consistent with the specific service attributes you're trying to emphasize overall.
Right. You can't ask customers to do something complex and frustrating if your brand promise is all about ease and convenience.
Exactly. It all has to hang together.
Okay, so we've broken down these 4 elements individually. The offering, the funding, employee management, and customer management. But you said earlier, these pieces don't just float around in isolation.
Not at all. And this, I think, is where the deeper magic truly lies. The real success of these top service companies depends far more on the interconnection, the reinforcement of these 4 elements.
How do they fit together?
Yes.
Yeah.
Much more than on the cleverness of any single one in isolation. There's no universal best practice for, say, funding or employee management that works everywhere.
It's context dependent.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's entirely about how they align and strengthen each other within a specific business. The Cleveland Clinic is just a phenomenal example of this.
Right. Top hospital.
Consistently ranked among the best globally. And their success isn't just one thing, like hiring star doctors, though they do that.
Yeah.
It's how all the elements beautifully align.
How so?
Well, their offering is designed to attract high-severity patients, the most complex cases. That's their niche.
Okay.
Their employee management system is designed around organizing doctors into collaborative disease centers, breaking down traditional silos to foster cross-disciplinary teamwork.
Ah, Interesting structure.
And their funding and employee management systems deliberately remove individual productivity incentives for doctors. They don't get paid more for doing more procedures.
Really? Why?
To explicitly foster innovation and collaboration over just sheer volume. It encourages them to spend time thinking, researching, consulting.
Focus on outcomes, not just throughput.
Exactly. It's a smoothly operating reinforcing system, all designed for a very specific type of medical excellence.
That sense of internal harmony, that alignment, is so compelling. And from this integrated view, the article then distills two really important, almost fundamental principles for anyone trying to design a great service business.
Absolutely. 2 core takeaways. The first principle is this. There's simply no such thing as a good idea in isolation.
Explain that.
A good idea only exists, it only makes sense within the context of a specific, coherent service model. An idea might sound brilliant on paper, but if it doesn't fit your model, it's not a good idea for you.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, the Cleveland Clinic, sticking with them, apparently actually tried to launch a spa offering at one point.
A spa at the Cleveland Clinic.
Yeah. On its own, you could argue it made sense, patient wellness, relaxation.
Sure.
But it simply didn't fit their core operational strengths or their established model, which was all about handling acute, complex medical cases. It didn't leverage what they were truly great at. It was eventually abandoned.
Didn't align.
Or think about Progressive Insurance again. Huge success in auto insurance, right? They tried to venture into home insurance. Seemed logical, but it failed. Why? Because home insurance relies much more heavily on managing investment portfolios to be profitable, which was actually a relative weakness for Progressive.
Their strength was analytics.
Their core strength was analytical underwriting for short-term risk, like auto accidents, not long-term investment management. The fit was just fundamentally wrong for their established model and capabilities.
Okay, so principle 1, no good ideas in isolation. What's the second one?
The second principle follows directly. It is absolute folly to attempt to be all things to all customers.
Can't please everyone.
Especially not in today's service economy. You simply must design for targeted excellence. Focus.
Be great at something specific for someone specific.
Precisely. Progressive and Commerce Bank are master classes in this. They are incredibly clever about selecting very specific customer segments that perfectly align with their unique strengths and what they choose not to do.
Right.
Another really striking example the article mentions is Schuette's Hospital in Canada. It's a world-renowned hernia specialist.
Just hernias.
Just hernias. And they're highly selective. They generally only operate on otherwise healthy people. They've consciously skimmed the cream of the market, focusing solely on one very specific patient profile where they can deliver predictable, excellent results.
Wow. That's focus.
Extreme focus and extreme success because of it.
Okay, that's a powerful realization. Yeah. You really cannot be all things to all people. But what happens then when these focused niche competitors start chipping away at your most profitable segments?
Yes.
Leaving the big incumbent firms, the ones who have tried to cover the entire waterfront, feeling suddenly very vulnerable. What happens then?
That's a really common and often painful journey for those incumbent companies. Frye describes it almost like a strategic grief process.
Strategic grief, okay.
Yeah, usually unfolds in about 4 distinct stages. First, there's dismissal. The big player sees the focused little entrant and thinks, they're no threat, too small, too niche.
Underestimate them.
Totally. Then comes sadness, as some of their profitable, maybe previously loyal, customers inevitably start defecting to the focused competitor.
Ouch.
This is often followed by a brief moment of relief, believe it or not. They realize, they're only targeting one of our segments, not everything.
False sense of security.
Completely. Because finally the crushing wave of dread arrives. The realization hits that this isn't an isolated attack, it's a systemic threat. More focused attacks on other profitable segments are surely coming.
That sounds grim. Is there a way out for the big guys?
There is. The enlightened solution, according to Frey, is for incumbents to become multi-focused.
Multi-focused, not just focused.
Right. It means actively pursuing multiple niches, but, and this is key, each with its own optimized, aligned service model, like the ones we've been discussing.
So like running several focused businesses under one roof.
Kind of, yes. But the genius here isn't just having separate divisions doing their own thing. The real secret to making multi-focus work lies in benefiting from carefully managed shared services.
Shared services
like finance, IT, HR, things that provide powerful economies of scale across the different units.
Okay, cost savings.
Yes, but even more crucially, Shared services can create economies of experience.
Economies of experience, what's that?
It's about having formalized processes for knowledge transfer between these different focused units, learning what works in one niche and applying it smartly to another, sharing best practices, innovations.
So the whole becomes more than the sum of its parts.
If managed well, yes. It allows the big company to fight niche competitors on their own turf, but with the backing of scale and shared learning.
That sounds like a massive leadership challenge, though, balancing the need for each unit to be focused and autonomous with the need to leverage those shared resources.
It's a huge challenge. For Oates, it often requires quite directive, maybe even autocratic leadership at the top to manage that inherent tension.
A constant balancing act.
A constant tension, exactly. But it's precisely how colossal diversified companies like, say, Yum Brands with its different fast food chains or historically GE managed to thrive across many different markets with different service models.
Fascinating. Okay, so wrapping this up. Whether you're, dreaming up a brand new service business or maybe looking to sharpen up an existing one, the undeniable power seems to lie in that deliberate alignment of these four crucial elements. What you offer, how you creatively fund it, how you empower and manage your employees, and critically, how you guide and manage your customers.
It really boils down to that integration.
It's about making conscious choices, often those counterintuitive ones about what not to do.
Right.
And then really understanding how every single piece interlocks to create something truly exceptional for a specific group.
Absolutely. And this whole framework, it really makes you look differently at every service interaction you have, doesn't it? As a customer or within a business.
It really does.
It raises some interesting questions to ponder, Thinking about your own experiences, maybe. Where have you seen a company deliberately choose inferior performance in one area that actually seemed to fuel a much greater excellence somewhere else?
That's a good one.
And maybe for your own business, or one you know well, how might it benefit from rethinking customer involvement? Not just seeing it as a cost-saving measure like those frustrating checkouts,
right?
But seeing it as a genuine pathway to actually enhancing the entire service experience for the customer, making it better because they're involved in the right way.
Fantastic questions to leave us with. Really makes you think. Thanks for diving deep with us today on this.
My pleasure. It's a great topic.
We hope this deep dive helps all of you look at every service interaction, from coffee shops to clinics, with some fresh, insightful eyes.